You are now listening to Carly's Couch.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Lex.
In this podcast, we discuss a wide array of topics about life and how to live your best life.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Hope y'all enjoy.
What's your vision for the future? In this episode of Carly's Couch, we talk about the Life Manifesto technique and how to apply it to your life.
Hello. Happy Monday, y'all.
Or whatever day it is.
If you haven't got your mugs yet, go ahead and hit carlyscouch.bigcartel.com and go ahead and swoop us up.
Yeah, and shout out to the people who are getting the whole set, and shout out to the people who got the Lex mug, which I had a friend say they was going to get my mug, and I don't think they got it. But I'm not on the back end, so I don't know.
Not yet, but
right,
I'm
because I
excited
will
to
call
see it
somebody
come
out.
through. For sure. I'm about to say, so they have not yet, but
we'll call you out.
We shall.
Also, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of Carly's Couch for 2024. So we wanted to start it out with a little bit of, goal setting. Everybody should be in that mindset this time of year. And I should be, but you probably kind of are. So we're excited about this week's episode. We're excited about a new year. Excited about another 52 episodes. Or however many weeks there are.
But
let's get started with the question from the couch, Carly.
What is one thing you learned about yourself this year?
And then for this is for 2023.
Yeah, so one thing you learned about yourself in 2023. Okay. So how important a standard operating procedure for myself is.
And what is that?
Like a way that you live life. So think about standard operating procedures for companies. It's the way that you set yourself up to be successful. Like, I know I need to work out and do all this. So kind of like making a little manual for your best self and best success.
I like that. That's probably kind of what we do in a similar way too. One person said they learned that they'd been burning their candle at three ends and they need to do something about it. So sometimes that's good to learn about yourself, that you need to do something different.
Another one was that they learned that they enjoyed being single.
That's
being
good.
single is fun. That's real.
Yeah, sure is. Another person said that after losing their mom, they learned that they had relied on her more than they knew, and that they actually are stronger than they thought. So sometimes it does take a loss to learn about yourself, and depending on yourself and how you move through the world without.
Another person, I guess that's a similar thread, because we have that I'm strong, that I'm a fighter, as things that people learned.
But one thing about saying I'm a fighter, because I used to always feel like that too, be like, yeah, I'm so good at like persevering, I'm so good at fighting and figuring out. And then I realized that I kind of wanted to stop saying that, oh, I'm such a fighter, because like, actually I don't want to do that. So when I feel like I'm looking at things through the lens of like, oh, I can figure this out, I can make it through this, it feels like everything becomes a problem that you have to fight through. So that's one thing I would say about that, is being careful about how we describe ourselves and the things that is a good quality to be able to, but are you focusing on the fighting, or are you focusing on the peace you want to feel without having to fight? And
I love that one, because we'll talk about that a little bit with the Life Manifesto, like when you envision your life for yourself. I had to change that too. It's like, I can make it through anything, but I don't want to have to.
Yeah, sometimes when you write things down too, you see that and you're like, ugh, actually, like, what is the thing that's good to repeat? And sometimes you're like, this isn't the thing to repeat, but maybe if I switch it around a little bit, it works better for you. Another one said they learned that they have the power to truly commit to change, and they can forgive themselves for being themselves, which is cool, because I think realizing that you can change it is very beneficial. And now it's like, all right, let me start tackling things.
Which flows into the next one, that sometimes what I call resilience is an unwillingness to accept change.
That's good. Someone said that receiving help instead of being the savior is part of their healing. That's good, that they understood you can learn from receiving.
Yeah, I was about to say, a lot of times the things we need to heal are the opposite of what we always do. Interestingly enough, someone learned that they are more nurturing than they thought. And another person, yeah, I love that. Another person said that they learned that they have to prioritize rest.
Yeah, they must be burnt out at that point then for them to realize that. One person said they rely. What was the question again? I feel like I need to
One thing
refresh.
that you learned about
One thing
yourself.
they learned about themselves. I don't want to mess it up.
Yep.
One thing they learned about themselves last year is that they need to give themselves permission to be human, because that doesn't stop the hustle, and rest is part of the plan.
Another person learned that they cared too much about what other people think, and that they should stop that.
Another one said that I'm not as strong and resilient as I thought I was. So I think that's cool. They said knowing that is okay. I actually, similarly, I was like, shoot, I learned I don't like doing anything. So I'm like, oh, I'm okay sitting on the sofa when I want to sit on the sofa.
And that's okay. Another person learned that they are not a doormat. And then someone, you're good. Leslie kick me if y'all ain't watching. Another one learned that they lack patience. And I hope you're working on that this year.
That's real. Sometimes it's good to learn about yourself, the things that aren't your strong suit, because it helps you to be a little more accountable. Like when I finally like accept, like, oh yeah, I'm not really a good listener. Like once you accept it, it's just a little different as far as moving forward. Because sometimes when you're pushing against and being defensive about stuff, that's when you're really not moving anywhere. And then the last couple ones, they learned about themselves, that they need to pay attention to their intuition, especially to how their nervous system reacts to certain situations. And this last one I identify with too. They said getting irritated really does raise my blood pressure. And I learned a lot of things about my heart rate and blood pressure and activities and things I do this year too. So it's cool to learn those physiological things about yourself.
Because that's important. And understanding your nervous system and health, that's the stuff that'll change your life for real, for real.
Yeah, sometimes when you are like looking at evidence and looking at data and stats and stuff, then it's like, oh, you can't question that. You need to change something. Or just having the knowledge that, oh, if I do this, it means this. Now it's like you're making that conscious decision. Like every time I drink a drink now, I'm like, I know what this is doing to my body because I can feel it, see it, whatever. And so it's like you need to be okay with those decisions you make because all of that connects. What is the thing that you learned about yourself, Carly?
Man, I knew we wrote this question. Yeah. I posted it, and I've been
not ready about it for 24 hours. That's okay if you don't have an answer.
I was gonna say I don't, and also like I feel like I don't know. I learn stuff all the time. Not that's a cop out answer, but I spend so much time being self aware.
You could do it once a month, probably.
Like probably sooner. I learned that a way that I respond in an argument is a trigger trauma response, which sounds like duh, bitch. But I was able to work on that a lot this year, and I feel like I was a lot more present. I also learned that in relationships, I need a repair plan after an argument. Like I need to figure out like some things to help me be okay with you and to help me be okay with it, and was able to communicate that to my partner. So that felt good.
That's good. And so similarly, in the fact that it sounds like you learned what your needs are, what more of your needs are, and now you're able to practice that and see how that works in real life. I think that one of the things that I learned was that life really is easier when I'm living in my truth. And by that, it's like literally like what I feel like doing is what I should do, and or it's when I feel like a need's not being met, I can more quickly express that, like just straight up saying I need this, being able to think about like and know like what do I want right now, what do I need right now, and make the steps instead of like sitting and stuff for really long. So like getting in relationships, breaking up in relationships, making business decisions, expressing to somebody something that I don't like or whatever, all of that stuff. I realize it becomes fun, and everything just feels lighter. As soon as you make a decision finally, like we talked about cutting people off and stopping extending grace and all of that, but as soon as you make definitive decisions about who you are, it's so much lighter and things are easier and they flow so much better when you actually acknowledge that and live in that space.
That's a whole episode in and of itself. Y'all are welcome for that. But yes, it is. And I think that that's cool that we're talking about life manifestos today, because a lot of that is learning yourself and then visualizing it so that it can become your everyday reality.
Yes. The life manifesto technique is about how you use visualization, which I never had like a real serious like visualization process. Would you say you had like a for real process? I feel like you've talked about it a little bit more than me. What does that look like for you?
So the first time I was introduced to it was like Tony Robbins, because they do visualization, and he actually does one like, if you don't change things, visualize your life, the end of your life now, and how disappointed are you if you continue all these habits and things that you're trying to change, if you don't choose to get the discipline and level up, like what will your life look like and what will you lose? And so that's like the first time I ever did like a really powerful one. And I was like, oh wow. But on the flip side, Matthew McConaughey talked about it in Green Lights, but I feel like it's pretty standard around is like to like write a movie about your life and just to practice in your meditation.
That's so funny. So in my random like how I random notes journal, one day I was thinking, I wrote down just randomly the phrase, life is a movie, what scene do I want to be next? And I was like, yeah, you could think about like choose your own adventure, or like really like this is a movie, and it's like, so what do you want to happen? Because that was like a random interruption, but like that came to my mind randomly before too. Like
it really is that easy. Like, none of this is real, but it really is that easy to visualize. And he talked about kind of how that changed his life. And so typically I've done visualizations in a sense of like releasing stress or envisioning myself somewhere else. But then we'll get into the life manifestation technique about like visualizing my life and how I want it to be, and like actually practicing that more. It was kind of cool. Someone asked me the other day, like, when I wake up, what do I want my reality to be? And I was able to rattle off. They were like, damn, that was smooth. And I was like, I be practicing.
That's funny too, because I think I did that yesterday when I woke up, and I was like, I'm deciding I'm going to have a good day today. And sometimes I feel like that's when you're really in the space of this stuff, air quote, working, is when you're not thinking about it. Like, you know, I know we're talking about it and like this is how we do it. But yeah, like, I think it's cooler when it's like you really just start doing that and you just start thinking like, yes, I really can decide. Like I'm straight today. So that's really cool. I think with visualization, it's always been hard for me, mostly because I don't think I had very detailed things about what I wanted like that. The most I would say with visualization is for a minute, like in grad school / probably like the year or so after grad school, I had like a vision board, and when I did see something, I would cut it out and put it up on there. But what I realized looking back at it now is like, it's kind of was just like regular go-to things. Like, you know, a girl with a nice body and a truck I wanted and money, you know what I mean? And I had like a wedding ring and like just stuff on it that I'm like, okay, cool. That's what most people kind of say. And so looking back at that, I wasn't really seeing myself in it. I was just looking more so at this board and thinking about things that I want or that other people have, but it wasn't like visualizing myself with it. But also one of them was something about me and having my own company or something, and that part worked. A couple of the things, like when I look later, I was like, oh, that did kind of actually happen. But I don't think it was because I was really visualizing the right way. And so for me, I think one of the biggest things, and you referred to this as well, is like not just what do you want, but like who do you want to be, and can you see your life? Like, what does your life like day to day look like when you wake up, or, you know, checking your mail? Are you putting on your Gucci slippers to walk down the driveway? Are you pushing a button for your boy to go down there and bring you to fetch the mail? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like really to visualize it is very interesting.
And I love, like, when you're visualizing, I think a big piece that I learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza, if y'all haven't read his stuff, hop on that, is like how you feel. Like, you really have to think about how you feel, how you want to feel when you wake up. And I feel like that's where a lot of the vision boards, which those are cool. I made them for years. I get it. That's fire. And how do you want to feel? Like, I think that's the thing where we miss, because you can't really be in a place if you don't know how it feels. And I feel like a lot of times we do the things that we're supposed to do on vision boards as opposed to what we really want. And that's because we haven't really checked in with ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really glad that you brought it back around to the feeling, because that's the most important thing to be visualizing, or to be feeling while you visualize. And that is what makes it so much more powerful. So I first learned about this life manifesto technique because I wrote my life manifesto last year in 2022 now. And so I got this from Vishen Lakhiani's book. And I have it here if you're watching the video. It's called The 6-Phase Meditation Method. And you can, if you look up Vishen Lakhiani, you can find like podcasts he's on where he talks all about it. And to be honest, just listening to his like podcast, I feel like that was pretty much everything in the book, but I'm glad I still read it. So one of the phases, or let me back up a second. There's 6 phases of the meditation. So during this 20-ish minute time, there's a moment where you think about a scene and you're practicing forgiveness. There's a moment when you take a moment to feel love and see somebody in your life, and you feel that love and you spread that love across the world. And one of them is also about visualizing the future, where it's like, all right, what does your day look like, and this and this and this and that. And so in this book, though, which I didn't get from the podcast, in this book, there is this guy called John Butcher and his wife, and they talk about how he uses them as an example some of their techniques and how the guy wrote a life manifesto. And I read it, and it was so, 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 so beautiful that I was like, I need one of these. So we're talking about the visualization first, because the reason you write the life manifesto is now so you have a very clear picture and clear feelings that now this is what you're visualizing.
And that helps with manifestation, because you're like able to see it, you're able to feel it. And just like someone, when they asked me about it, like literally yesterday, I was able to rattle it off, and I could feel all the feelings of everything I was saying. And that like helps remove blockages and actually helps bring all the things that you want to in your life.
Mm-hmm. And then one of the other interesting things about it is that he writes his life manifesto for 3 years. So they dated it 3 years in the future. So like mine is dated for 2025. And I thought that was interesting. And I remember Vishan saying something to the effect of, we often overestimate how much we can get done in a year, but we very much underestimate how much we can get done in 3 years, or how much can change in a year or 3 years. Because I feel like we all look year to year for the most part, and okay, this year I want to do this, or next year I want to do that. But 3 years from now, a lot can change, because you never know. And so they have 12 different categories from which they want you to think about, what does your life look like in these?
Yeah, and we're about to get into the categories, but I like these too, because Tony Robbins has a similar exercise where you rate yourself. Like you can do an A, B, C, D grade, or you can do a 1 through 10. That way you can know like which part of your life is really behind where you want it to be. And that way you can kind of focus in this like first year. And so as we read these, kind of sit and like think, or, if you can, jot down and maybe like grade yourself, or how you're feeling about where you currently are in these 12 categories.
And also in all of these categories is where you're going to write down what your vision is for it. So health and fitness is one, an intellectual life, emotional life, your character,
your spiritual life, your love relationship, parenting, your social life, your financial life,
your career, your quality of life in general, and what is your life vision. Now, through John Butcher and his teachings with his wife, like they'll go more into kind of what each of those means, as well as Vishan in his book, they kind of go into what those means. But as you can see, the most important thing is like this is a comprehensive look at all parts of your life, because all of those are important. If you focus on one or a few of these areas, you can see the difference in your life. You should aim for it all. Like I remember talking to probably like a few exes ago, I don't even remember, to somebody, and I was talking about things I wanted, and they were like, I was like this or this, and they were like, well, why don't you just go for all of it? Because we know the examples of people who just work, and then maybe their personal life suffers, or people who are like, la, 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 like woo-woo land, but then like they're living in a tent, or, like everything can be cool. So thinking about what that full manifesto is will give you such a good place to start.
And we'll hop into our manifestos, but I did want to read just one sentence from John and John Butcher's life manifesto first, because it's so beautiful and poetic, and I think it's inspirational when you're thinking about your own. So it says, due date, January 2022. Missy, his wife, Missy and I have achieved simplicity on the far side of complexity and created our own version of heaven right here on earth.
Aww. Yeah, he writes this so well that I encourage you to look at it. If you Google John, Jon, Butcher, and or maybe if you actually look at the 6-phase meditation at page 132 is where John's manifesto is. And so when I wrote mine in December of 2022, I kind of use some of the same style, because it's like he writes in a way of like where you really feel. So this is Alexia Clincy's life manifesto. And you can look at mine at alexiaclincy.com, because I put it on my site as a blog post as well. And I pinned it at the top of my Twitter, so that way I can remember like to just actually go look at it every day. Mine says, my partner and I live in a life of luxury, adventure, and passion. We have the freedom to do what we want, when we want, where we want, with whom we want. We have an extraordinary life that functions at a high level in every important area, all while each hour of the day is ours. So you see, I have a big thing about having my own time. Freedom is our core value. We wake up every day in our beautiful home in Los Angeles and ask ourselves, what do we want this day to be about? The biggest project we have ever worked on? Nothing. Painting, traveling. Life is a playground, a canvas for us to paint. We live in our unique ability. Our work consists entirely of creative projects that we are uniquely qualified to do. We don't spend time doing anything that we don't truly want to do. This means we create, we write, we record, we design, we produce, we build. We have a higher quality of life than ever before and have lots of money. We live in a home that breeds peace and enjoy the ocean views, the gardens, and beautiful weather and landscapes that allow us to enjoy a home life that evokes awe and feels one with nature at the same time. I work on business 2 mornings a week, and the rest of my time is my own to spend with my partner and child, SMH, yes, child, reading, watching movies, exercising, working on creative projects, planning activities, or basically whatever I want to do. In 2025, there's a relaxed and effortless flow to our days. They are rewarding and full. We have coffee time every morning and take a walk together every evening. By evening, we are filled from the day rather than drained by it. We bring positive, loving energy and talk about meaningful things over dinner. The food is incredible, by the way. My partner and I love to enjoy the finest of dining, enjoying the craftsmanship behind expert flavor pairing. Why did I write that? We're also not opposed to a late-night fast food run when the mood hits us. I had to keep it real.
For sure.
We laugh a lot. We are relaxed. We're healthy, happy, and fulfilled. Our nights are magical. My partner and I have a deep intimacy and an absolutely amazing sex life. It's healing, exciting, adventurous, and so much fun. We're in the best physical shape of our lives and incredible partners in every way. We seek to understand each other and to approach each other with curiosity and a sense of exploration. We are spending a lot of time with our child to make sure they are happy and healthy, and our lives allow us to be effortlessly planning the next one. Our family, friends, and nanny make it so that we are able to enjoy time away and time to ourselves without worry. But more than anything, we love to travel as a family and experience the world together. My partner and I have a rich social life in Los Angeles and great connections in countries around the world. We don't spend time with anyone we don't love, admire, and respect. We hang out with people of integrity who enrich our lives and enhance our fun. We make money with our friends, and we often pass along opportunities for them to take advantage of. Our best friends are always down to spend time with us, and the kickbacks feel as rejuvenating as ever. We invest a lot in our friends. We travel with them and enjoy them. In all we do, we strive to have impact, especially on the lives of Black people and those who are undervalued by others. We give back through our work, and I enjoy opportunities for service with friends and sorority members. We invest in programs that allow exposure and entrance into business and the arts for those who need resources and mentorship. My company is automated and doing better than I ever imagined. CapSoch has transformed into a multi-million consultancy with an amazing portfolio of top brands, entertainment projects, and even foreign governments. The culture is creative, open, and effective, with a people-first mentality. I'm able to advise and support my partner in their work, and we value each other's opinions in regards to business decisions. My partner and I have a very high net worth and no debt. Despite our wealth, our financial life is simple. It's understandable, it's organized, and it's optimized. We're living very, very well. We are living in paradise every day. We are fully centered. We're happy, we're creative, we're fulfilled. We are healthy and energized. We have an extraordinary love life and our ideal careers. We have financial abundance and an extraordinary relationship with our child. We enjoy truly amazing friendships. We relax a lot and enjoy our life without feeling at all guilty about the immense amount of leisure time we have. That sounds fire.
Amazing.
That's my life manifesto. Now you see why we didn't read John's, because these are long. But I really sat down and thought about what I really wanted, and even with talking about I want a child, right? Or even talking about my partner, because I've always felt like, oh yeah, I could just be by myself. I don't want kids, blah, blah, blah. But then I thought about it, I was like, yeah, one of the main reasons I would want children, though, is because I feel confident that I could bring a good person into the world, or that I could teach somebody and have another good person in the world. And so I came to grips with that. And instead of being like, no, I don't want kids, and for all the fear or reasons why I don't, to actually be like, yeah, I'd love to have a kid. So that is Alexia Clincy's Life Manifesto. That's funny.
Beautiful. I love
ridiculous.
that. Mine is Carly Carpio's Life Manifesto, Heaux. And so this is the first draft. I have not came back and edited this. So we gonna suffer through this one together. Okay.
You gotta start with something.
I know. So here we are. Every day is an adventure of my choosing. Peace, adventure, creation, rest, exploration, whatever. I wake up every morning rested, invigorated, excited for the day. Waking up from cuddles with my partner when we choose. I spend my mornings filling my cup and doing what inspires me to set the tone for the day. My body feels good and is at optimal health, and it only seems to be getting better each day, aesthetically, athletically, all the leads. I feel a sense of ease and am peaceful, joyful, and confident. I have everything I need plus anything I could ever want, and am able to pursue my passions and create all while helping others and elevating my community. Turns out, money does grow on trees when you're in alignment. Freedom is the foundation of my life, and I'm able to move about whenever and however I need. I'm also able to invest in worthwhile causes, projects, and to help reinforce and build up those around me. I have a beautiful home in Los Angeles and also a chateau in the Italian countryside with a beautiful garden and vineyard. My partner and I travel the world on a whim and with the seasons. We have a rich, deep social life with amazing, inspiring people who reflect us, are always growing, and are living their own life adventures daily. From creating, cooking, exploring, and traveling the world together, we are so excited to continue to choose living life with them. My company helps inspire people to be the best version of themselves daily and to create a life that they love. I speak, train, and do international retreats and grow with my business daily. Everything in my company is automated, I guess, except for me speaking. And where am I? And I'm able to experience the fullness. Able to experience the fullness and depth of life while growing my company and helping more and more people. My partner's businesses are flourishing, and he is in a constant space of creation, play, growth, and curiosity with me. We also have done some crazy successful partnerships between our two businesses. My partner and I just decided to have children and will start trying soon. Having built up the financial freedom and wealth to parent the way we want, we know it's time and look forward to deeper and greater adventures with each other and our child in this new decision.
Yay, that's good. Notice you said cook, and I didn't say nothing about cooking, right? So that's even those simple things. I was like, nah, let me keep this real. Like, I enjoy the finest of other people's dining.
Oh, so yeah, my partner and I, we love to cook and travel the world and take cooking lessons. And
so that's why I'll invite y'all to my house.
Yeah, or we'll cook and invite you and your partner and child over.
Oh, Lord. So those are our life manifestos, and Carly, I know she's probably gonna go through hers a little bit. Or there's probably more you just think to add in, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and I think I did that too.
Yeah, I'm about to say the amazing sex life that you had. That's got to be on there.
I changed some things, and then like I'd come back later, because the point of it is to consistently look at it, right? So for the time that I was doing the 6-phase meditation regularly, and that was part of it, it's like now I would read this first before I start the meditation. So when it gets to the part where it's talking about the visualization, then that I was seeing some part of that. I was seeing what me doing some type of work look like, or me playing with my kid at the park or whatever. So it just really helps you to have that point that you can always go back, review this, look at it, feel it. Does it still sound beautiful to you? Does it still feel good? And if not, you can always just kind of tweak things and change things around. So I think to visualize in that way, and you heard a lot of feeling words in there, to visualize it and feel it in that way is just very powerful. If that's who you are, then everything that you're doing is contributing towards that direction.
And I think it's so beautiful. So for me, I think the first step is like doing it, right? And then going back and workshopping and making sure it all sounds like it's in alignment with me and who I am. But now whenever I visualize, I'm going to think about it, similar to how you were saying. But then also each day, I'm trying to choose to wake up the same way that I will in 3 years in these things. I'm trying to feel that abundance and that confidence and that love and playfulness, like all the things in here, like I'm noticing like, oh, I do feel a lot of that already. So that's cool.
That is. So this week, we want you all to think about what your life manifesto is for 3 years from now. So what does 2024, 5, 6, 7?
7.
Dang.
What
does 2027 look like for you? And write that out. Look up the resources that we mentioned in this episode if you need help with it. And then just start to refresh yourself and read that on a daily, weekly basis.
Yep. And we'll link Alexia's, and then I'll add mine to my website too so y'all can see it. But hit us at Carly's Couch and let us know, what are some of the things that you're manifesting in 2027.
And we hope you have a great week and enjoy 2024.
Happy New Year, y'all.